How's it going?
My name is Brad Loxton. I am senior producer on Dungeon Defenders 2.
I'm Jay Twining, and I am senior game designer on Dungeon Defenders 2.
And I am not PM Asher.
So,
So PM Asher and I Pass Butter are actually out seeing Brand New. As a band, they're on tour. They were out there at the concert last night. And so I get to host the Devstream today.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Nice to...
And since I Pass Butter is gone, we also have Levi from our QA team. Say hi, Levi.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Levi's going to be running, I think you're playing, what are you doing today? You're doing...
Ambush 25 plus.
Oh, there you go, 25 plus solo, and he's using the awesome Betsy bow. And he was talking to me earlier about how he has like an anti-air build he's messing with where he uses geyser traps and the anti-air towers of the monk to do some really cool
You
stuff.
can check it out. He's got like a propeller cat and all this other kind of stuff going on.
Yeah,
Levi's.
Levi's.
That's Casty Cat. I call it Casty Cat. It's not Casty Cat. It's got a different name, but I call it Casty Cat.
Casty Cat?
Casty Cat.
Cool. So we're really excited to be here to chat with you guys. For all of you guys that are not familiar or joining us for the first time, we do these dev streams once a week on Fridays at this time. Same bat time,
right.
same bat channel. And Dungeon Defenders 2 is an action tower defense RPG game. It's in early access right now on Steam. And part of us doing our early access is really actively communicating with our community and getting feedback from you guys on how we want to make the game better. That's really important to us. So this gives us an opportunity to take your questions live right here on the dev stream, talk to you guys, get some answers hopefully for the things that we can, watch Levi's awesome skills, and an added treat, we usually showcase one of our artists doing really cool art stuff that I could never do in my wildest dreams. So today I believe we have Enrique.
Yes.
And he's doing some really cool concept art around the concept of premium pets.
Yes.
Premium pets are a new thing that we're working on. And these are pure, crazy fun concept time. Like he's just doodling in a way. It's like it's our version of professional doodling. So you may or may not see these pets become something.
Yeah, he wanted to let us know that this is all exploratory, but the great thing about his work is that everything looks amazing.
Yeah.
You just kind of look at all of this stuff, it's like, well, we can put this in the game, we put this in the game. It's all just really great.
No, Enrique blows my mind all the time. I remember when he was working on the daily missions.
Yes, oh my goodness.
We were like, we just want a little
just
image that just shows kind of what it is. And then he came out with the first draft, we're going, what the...
And you kind of want to take them and blow them out into the poster size and just put them on the wall.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
We should probably just do it.
Yeah, we should make posters of the other mission things that look really cool. So we're really excited to talk to you guys today. We're going to be going back and forth, talking to Jay about some of the things he's working on, maybe talking to you guys and taking some questions. We'll kind of bounce back and forth. So one thing that we want to go over, we just actually wrapped up an influence vote recently.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
So for all of you guys who aren't familiar, influence is a system that we use to let you guys influence how we're making the game. You gain points.
Directly influence how we go. Directly influence the decisions that we would make, and we really enjoy these.
Yeah,
some of them we really enjoy them.
Yeah, they're the hard decisions that we don't know what to do with. And one of those hard decisions, at least for the content side, was what we do with the color of the Defense Council.
Yes.
And what we do with the color of the good guys, so to speak.
And I believe it was just a little bit more than that. It was also colors that you would see in the tavern. And so the Defense Council is a group of players that contributed and been with us for I don't even know,
a long time. Over almost 2 years.
I was gonna say 2 years or so.
A year and 8 months or something for original defense counselors.
These are the hardcore, they're they heard about our game, they heard about DD2, they got on board super early.
I'm looking at the comments right now. People are like R.I.P. Purple and long live the red.
Yes.
That's part and parcel of, I guess, what happens with influence. People take sides. Hopefully everyone's happy with the sides that they take.
Yes.
Gigazelle, 18 months. Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so the vote is concluded, from what I understand. It was purple versus red for the Defense Council color, and I'll go through the numbers really quick, because I actually did not know they were this close. It's really exciting. On purple, it was 5,348, and red, it was 5,692. So if you wanted purple to win, you probably should have politicked more. Maybe gotten more of your friends on board and voting. So that's super, super cool. We're going to be going through, working with the art team to update all that. So questions are open. I'm going to be trying to, oh no, someone actually did the barricade thing again. That's coming up once again. We'll be taking questions on the stream as they come up. I'll try to be kind of watching different things. I'm not usually the one hosting, so forgive me if I'm still kind of new. I'm not going to be as slick as Phil is, maybe. I'm good at answering questions, but being the host is a little bit different.
Right.
So let's see if we can take a question right off the bat. Let's see here. We got, I think I saw a question up. Okay, so someone asks, so this is for you, Jay. It says, since the game will be free to play local co-op, will it just be on 2 computers or going to be on the 1 computer? Like we have to have 2 machines in order to play the co-op experience.
Okay, we're getting into some definitely some future feature work here a little bit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that we are okay with certain aspects of a split screen build,
Yep.
and then also having the option of individual clients on 4 different machines. So let's just kind of go through it. 4 players is the maximum co-op
Yep.
to get into a lobby, and so we're experimenting right now a little bit with how many we can fit into the split screen comfortably. But we know and we've seen and we enjoy the 2-player experience at least, and so at minimum 2.
Yep.
At maximum 4.
That's right. And as we've announced already, I mean, co-op is something that we really believe in.
Yes.
It's something that's really, really a staple of the Dungeon Defenders franchise. We're working on it actually right now. We just reviewed some co-op HUD work just
Yes.
earlier this week. By the way, that shouldn't set your expectations. It's a ways down the road. There's a
Yes.
lot of work to do with co-op.
Yeah.
But with split screen co-op, you're going to be able to play 2 people at the
Yeah.
very least, and you can play with just those 2 people. You can matchmake with other people in, but with the local one, you don't need a second computer. You can
Yes.
play just 2 people on 1 machine, so that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Someone was already commenting about where's Phil, so just as a reminder, Phil and iPass Butter are at a brand new concert.
Yes,
They're out, singing and dancing. So
And not like apparently, and I wanted to make this joke for a while. Not a brand new concert for an old
Oh,
band,
boy.
but just I guess the band is called Brand New.
yes.
Oh man, that flopped so bad.
Yeah.
I know that somebody out there on Twitch
Someone
land
maybe
was
laughed.
chuckling.
Oh yeah, someone's
Yay!
laughing. We're all excited about you,
Thank
Jay.
you so much.
That's good. Cool. So we are answering your questions, so please post them. I'll do my best to answer the best we can. Here's a fun one for someone asks, can we get a bow that shoots chickens?
Maybe sure. Let's go talk to Danny.
Yes, you guys should. I actually highly encourage you to start a thread on the forums about a chicken shooting bow and see how Danny reacts to that.
You know,
That'd be fun.
it's funny that you're bringing that up. We have the influence vote, and that's kind of a way that we send a message out to the community and saying like, "Hey, help us choose based on this vote what direction to take." The other way is to go into the forums and just start like a community thread and kind of do the whole grassroots movement. We respond very well to those as well.
So, yeah, definitely. So another question that's out here, Tiller J asks, how do you feel about the option to sell dropped gear for mana? It'd be much easier for some of us who want to solo.
On that one, I'm not going to talk about specifically the mechanic of selling gear and like that. However, the solo experience, we have been talking a lot about the solo experience
Yes.
at least for at least 4 or 5 months. I know that in this November, December, we started talking about that, like all of our LDs and NGD and stuff like that. And so we've been tossing around a couple ideas about how to make the solo experience more satisfying for our solo players. We are watching, we are listening, we have been gathering nothing but feedback and doing some internal tests and like doing a lot of internal design discussion.
Yep.
And so any one specific implementation probably isn't out, although I do feel like the dropped, if we were going to do some sort of conversion of items into a currency that isn't gold, that we wouldn't necessarily limit that. I'm not saying that we're doing this, but we wouldn't necessarily limit that to one style of play over another. But we do recognize that there is some work to happen to make the solo experience way more.
Oh, man. By the way, not to interrupt, but Levi is fighting one of the hulking whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
that enemy. The first time I saw that, it scared the crap out of me. I was like, what in the world?
Yes.
I actually didn't know they were in there, and they were pretty stellar. So I think Jay's right. We're definitely focusing a lot on that single player experience right now and trying to make that better in the future.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll get to a point where you're actually not really feeling you need to do that. So another comment, by the way, people are making is that I'm a lot louder than you.
Oh, really?
And so
All right, okay.
They turn it up to hear you, and then
Okay.
turn it down when I talk. So we
All
gotta
right.
try to even it out.
I will project my voice. Is this better out there, Twitch land?
Oh
Give me a
man.
hashtag, talk louder.
Oh gosh, there you go. Hashtag talk louder whenever Jay starts talking too soft. Another question we have here is, let's see here. Someone asks, Scratchinator asks, just wondering when you have a rough idea when the next patch is released. So, funny that. Right now, our plan is to have a hotfix releasing next week on Monday.
Yes, Monday.
Yep, we've had a lot of bugs coming up in this patch. I think you guys heard a lot of our messaging. This was a huge, this last patch was enormous for us. We had a lot of changes that were going in, and we broke A couple things, maybe a few. We broke a lot of things. Oh God.
Hey, you know what? The way I say it, we make omelets.
That's right.
We make omelets, you got to break some eggs.
Yeah, and then break more eggs into your omelet, and then hopefully pick the shells out.
And then
Anyways,
put little bits of like cheese and bacon.
Yeah.
And pepper.
you're making me hungry. So the patch that we have a hot fix we're trying to come out with next week on Monday. I believe that notes are being posted early, but don't quote me on that. And after that, it may be a little bit as we're working on some really big new things. So stay tuned, and we'll talk about that release later on. But definitely, our target right now is a hot fix coming out on Monday. So let's see what else we have here. Okay, that sword is insane.
I was going to comment that I really love the visuals you get when you set up your combos with the geyser tower and then the sky guard. That like rainbow, very colorful sky guard projectile is just something that I've actually started to rotate in the Skyguard into my builds just to kind of see it.
Oh man, look at the Enrique drawing now. I don't even know what he's drawing, but man, that looks incredibly cute. I wonder if it'll stay cute. Sometimes Enrique starts cute and then just goes crazy and turns it into like evil and like intense and everything. So there's another question right here from Pinku Hairu. I might be slaughtering your name. He's basically saying, I don't know if this has been addressed before, but one of the things that I loved most about DD1 were the crystal skins. Are they going to be core, sub-core skins in this game, or would that be too difficult to code into the game with the new maps?
So, I think that's an interesting idea.
It is. We've actually talked about that some, and you hit the nail right on the head. One of the challenges that we have is that in DD2, which is a little bit different from DD1, we wanted to add a little more purpose into the world. You know, the world's at war, these towns being under attack, there's these ruins that you're exploring, and they have different things that you have to defend. You know, it's not just the crystals this time around. And that, like you mentioned, has a challenge to it. You know, they all look different. But we have talked at some points about, is there a way that we could still do an intelligent kind of scanning system where you could get some change and personalize those a little bit? Don't know. We've talked about it some. If you have ideas for how we could do that, we'd love to hear it.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's something that's definitely a little bit tough. But it's a cool idea. Like, it's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
It's so funny because I think internally, you know, on the dev team, we actually do a fair bit of conversation. A fair bit of conversation on what the world is and what the world lore is. That's kind of based on a previous influence vote that we had, where it was World or Hero, and so we've been really focusing a lot more on what is the story, what are you doing in Etheria, and what are our apprentice and squire and stuff going.
And what is Enrique doing with that cat's tail?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. So yes, and you're right. I actually just had a meeting about lore today, so that stuff is definitely progressing pretty well. So another question from Lexor at Trendy Ant. I really enjoy the RTS Summoner class from DD1. Is there ever going to be another RTS class like the Summoner?
You know what? I will plead the fifth. However, I do know that we have discussed the Summoner in the past, and so that's where I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave that one.
Yeah, you know, honestly, we haven't really gotten a new hero design. The Summoner was a very interesting character from DD1.
Yeah.
Maybe we bring it back, maybe we don't. I mean, it's really up in the air at the moment as we try to figure out, you know, solidifying our current 4 heroes and then maybe expanding in the future. But the Summoner has been talked about a lot. There's a lot of people who are fans of it. Same with characters like Eevee and other ones like that.
Yeah, Eevee and the Jester, and there's a handful of really iconic characters from the DD universe that we want to get into new Etheria.
Yep. So X Crossing has a question. How do you add friends in the game? Is it even possible to add friends?
You know, this is one of the things that we're focused on for this milestone. But currently, the way that you would do it is you'd have to engage with that player, and then go open up a Steam interface and use that regular tool. So I believe the way you do that is you find out what their Steam name is, you open up a Steam interface, go to your friends list, do add. It sounds like it's a lot of work, but it's actually fairly quick. Go to the friends. Go friends, add friend, do a search on their name, and then you'll send out your friend request. And that's how you would do that right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of feedback in the earlier days of the game. We actually used to have a different system in place, and everyone was really clamoring for Steam integration. That's the platform that you guys play on. That's what you're comfortable with.
Yep.
So we're on Steam integration right now. It uses the Steam friends list. That's how you invite people. You open up your Steam friends list in game, and you get an invite and send them an invite to your current session. As far as adding friends, you do it through Steam. We do acknowledge that right now it may not be so seamless. We really want to add a way to maybe be able to click on a person and add them or pop up the interface to the friend request in the Steam overlay, but we haven't done that quite yet. So it's all Steam integrated, and if you know how to use Steam, it's the same as that.
Yeah.
So Rigby1997 asks, are there any other ideas for getting tokens? at the moment, I feel it's really slow at the moment.
There are a handful, and we are gathering feedback and looking at our metrics and stuff like that on the drop rates and the acquisition speed of getting these tokens. Coming soon, we'll be tweaking that as we go.
Yeah, I mean the tokens are really kind of right now. Betsy is kind of our end game.
Yeah.
So a lot of the major rewards you get from Betsy, like the Ubers, are really things that you need to earn through gameplay. But all that said, Jay's 100% right. Those numbers are not necessarily final. At the moment, the only way to acquire tokens is through completing the missions, completing the quests.
Yep.
Maybe we add something else down the road, but that's kind of where we started, and we'll tweak those numbers based on that system, and then maybe expand it or change it later on. So Scratchinator has another question. Trinity Int, will the numbers of the Betsy sword beam maybe get buff? I feel like the damage is kind of crap right now.
We'll definitely. I'm taking a note here. I'm going to go look at this.
He's the guy I talked to, by the way. Him and Dan are the two guys that are the masters of balance.
Usually,
you should show their awesome your handwriting there.
Oh, I'm not going to do that. Chicken scratch. So the best way that we do it is we sort of have a baseline. So we kind of have some ideas about what is a balanced special stat and what is a balanced damage for a weapon or anything like that. And we just sort of plug it in and we kind of do micro tuning based on like internal play tests. But I guess based on this feedback, sometimes we get it right and sometimes it needs improvement.
Yeah, and we have a lot of moving targets. We talked about this a few streams ago, like the Blaze Balloon. It was in an influence video, actually. The Blaze Balloon at one point was, like, Levi, correct me if I'm wrong, way overpowered. Like, Blaze Balloon it was insane. It killed everything. And then we changed that so that it didn't destroy everything, and now people think it's too weak. So trying to find that perfect number for all the abilities is definitely part of it. And also, as we change loot systems and stat systems, those all impact us. Sometimes they work with current stats. We adjust something and it changes and it needs to be tweaked. So that's part of early access. We get feedback from you guys and tweak them. And
one of our other additional sort of tenets when we're thinking about these things and thinking about hero builds is the idea that there are skill spheres and there are special stats.
Yeah.
And sometimes as we sort of release new content, we're piping more into these defenses and into the abilities. And so some specific things have, just by the way of where we are in content, have more focus on a build than other defenses. And the Blaze Balloon is one of those ones that just doesn't have as much focus.
Yep. So I'm going to get this name wrong. It is time to die. No, I'm not. It is time to die. That's a fun name. He asked a question, or she. My friend lost his entire account to the level transition bug, including all of his pre-order bonuses. Is he going to get that back, and is this bug fixed yet? So as far as any kind of customer support issues like that, if they come up, please contact us.
Yes.
We are in early access. Sometimes things do break. We actually had this bug where people were getting kicked recently, and that was causing some issues with purchases. We're fixed. I think that one's been since fixed. We haven't heard any new reports of it, but if we do have bugs like that, one, let us know.
Yes.
We want to fix them. We believe most of those major issues are fixed right now. And two, please get a hold of us through customer support.
Yes.
Josh Isom is in the chat channel. He can tell you the email or whatever to contact, and we will get a hold of that person and try to get them fixed. We really don't want anyone to have a bad experience, especially when they've been so generous to support the development of the game by getting involved in early access. So please get those people in touch with us.
I'm crying a bit. Like on the inside, I'm like, oh.
Tell us. We really don't want. We really want to get those things back. So please get a hold of us, and we'll correct that. That's a big deal for us. So let's see what else we have here. Let's see. Yeah, they're actually good. People are talking about this.
Okay. Well, this is an interesting build here. So we got some explosive traps. Are these Ubered explosive traps?
Yep.
These are Ubered explosive traps. So these have the elemental chaos effect. So what that means is that if the same trap hits with the same element twice, that's an interesting way to phrase that, it'll apply a status effect. So either frozen or it'll ignite them. And there's a couple other options there.
All awesome options.
Yes.
Man, when I first saw that, I flipped out. I was really excited. I flip out a lot, by the way. You can ask him. I get super excited about this stuff. I don't know. Making games is
it's like a barometer.
The most fun thing in the world.
It's a good thing. Like we know, yes, we've hit it. Has Brad flipped out yet? It's like sometimes we actually take wagers before, like, hey, are we gonna get Brad?
Man, I walked into a room and there was a wager, and after I made a response, someone passed money around. I'm like, oh. All right.
Hold on. We don't gamble at Trendy Ends.
Oh, okay. Sorry. maybe not. It's not gambling. It's friendly exchanges
Yes,
of
there
currency
we
based
go.
on.
There we go.
All right. So the Derpy support asks, would love Betsy dailies to be a bit balanced. I'm still at 11 tokens because I'm unable to do 25 plus maps or incursion maps. We were talking about that before.
Yeah.
We're still trying to
Okay.
figure out the right balance for that.
Okay.
We took a note about it. We'll kind of think about that and as we kind of go through, maybe change those in the future. Let's see here.
So one
So,
of our, okay,
go ahead.
I was going to talk about the Betsy line, and one of the things, one of our tenets was the idea that we actually wanted to have one of the quests, one of the daily quests that would be available was for endgame, and then the other one was for other. And so if you feel like going back and seeing those dailies, you're not getting content, like you're not getting a quest that you can complete, or you want a different option, let us know, and that'll kind of help us gauge. Like, we can measure some of these things with metrics, but even your opinion is really important.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
definitely, please go to the forums or let Isom know in the Twitch stream, and we can kind of gather this feedback. And I am writing it down. What do you want me to write down? Okay.
Maybe Betsy token stuff would be an interesting influence vote.
Okay, yeah, we can
It
do
could be a
that.
compelling
Sure,
influence vote to talk about, maybe, like what people
Sure.
think about the current values. They think they're too much, they're too little. I don't know.
Sure.
We have a lot of conversations about influence votes. We're always trying to find cool ideas. That's an interesting one. So, D Beastly Bro, Da Beastly Bro, that's a cool name. Trinity, and are there going to be any forms of PvP in DD2?
I'm going to pass. Please.
Oh,
I'm going to put you on the spot this time.
So a lot of people talked about the PvP user created mode in DD1 and liked it a lot. We've played it a lot. We've actually prototyped a couple things off of that. Right now, we are really focused on that core cooperative experience. We think that's something that's really cool about Dungeon Defenders as a franchise. There are really not many cooperative free-to-play games out
Yes,
there.
not
You know,
at all.
there's Warframe and a couple others maybe, but we really think that's an underserved audience. So there's a lot of competitive games, not as many cooperative. We want to make the best cooperative fun
Yes.
game that we can.
Yep.
All of that said, we make game modes, and game modes can have a whole bunch of cool different things that we could do. So it's very possible that down the road we revisit that. We have talked about some of those. Oh, is he going to get an upgrade? Green chest for life. And
Hashtag.
hashtag green chest for life. So as we go forward, we may decide to revisit that down the road. But yes, PvP is maybe down the road, and right now we're not touching it. Let's see what else we got here. So more people talking about the Betsy token. Man, the Betsy tokens thing is
It's coming up.
it's a popular
This is good.
topic.
It's good. We polarized. What do we got? Hit me.
Let's see here. Okay. Exiles asks, will we be able to open private games to public anytime soon?
That's
something
You know
that's
what?
very
I'm just-
applicable to maybe your...
some work that's happening right now.
Maybe.
So the we're looking into it. Yeah, I was like, do I want to preamble it? I was like, no, we're gonna look into it.
Oh, Jay.
we like it. This is something we feel like for matchmaking and map selection that at the moment we're being a bit restrictive. So if we're talking about the tenets and the direction, that we are placing restrictions and we're trying to kind of open the gates and make that whole experience more inclusive and less restrictive. We want it to be about the options and what you want to do, less so about making a choice and kind of being stuck in it and then have to dig yourself back out and go back in.
I'm also going to make a wager, by the way, in that I think the question you're asking about is how do I take a match where I'm with my friend and we're on our own in a private
Yes.
server, and then I'm matched with public players.
And
And
every time they ask about this, I miss that part.
That's
I
all right.
always miss over the thing that like I'm pitching so much.
So we are actually actively talking about how we can improve that system.
Yep.
So that if you're in a private match, you're by yourself, you've invited one friend, you guys
Yep.
have messed around at the tavern, like decided what heroes you want to go into, then you can make a decision about do we want to play on our own or do we want to be
Yes.
thrown in the public matchmaking pool. And there are some changes that we're discussing right now. We honestly are still scoping out the work we're trying to do
Yes.
on it, so
Yep.
that might not make it in the next phase, but it is most certainly a thing that we want to solve. So
Yes.
expect that in the future. That's going to be a lot easier to do, where it's like not necessarily converting it to a public game maybe, but putting yourself into the public matchmaking
Yes.
pool.
Yep.
Cool. So, one person asks, let's see, Elmizer asks, there was a blog post a while ago about work being done to the hero deck, like a prestige for the hero deck. Is that still in planning or was it scrapped? I'll answer that one. So the hero deck prestige thing was definitely not scrapped. There are some ideas that are related to that system. I don't want to announce them yet, but things we may do to make that interesting, maybe different than what we announced before. We're still talking about it, that are on our what we call our backlog, like our schedule of things that we're going to do. At the moment, though, we've been really focusing on the things that we're hearing loud and clear from the community that we need to improve on. So things like balance, things like hopefully adding a boss fight in, like Betsy, which everyone was super excited about. Getting the pets feature in, and other things that we're doing right now that are unannounced. Some that are announced, like trying to fix the matchmaking system and making it better. So we are going to revisit that. It's on our list. We have some cool ideas around it. Dan Haddad has really been pushing for some of those concepts, but at the moment they're kind of being down prioritized based on some of the topics that you guys are discussing a lot more commonly. So let's see here. What is Enrique doing now? I'm trying to see. I can't.
He looks like he has
a whole slew of.
Look,
he's
we
like
got a
cat-tastic.
gato and a boot. So got
man.
a boot. I'm gonna talk to Enrique about that. That's a gato boot. Are we getting any? Nothing. No groans. No.
No, I'm actually not at the bottom right now. I'm trying to grab as many questions as I can. So, Tyler J, I missed last stream, but there were comments that you were going to do an item wipe for stats. Could you go over that really fast?
Sure. We are revisiting our stat formulas and which stats are available. This is going to be from a design and balance perspective. This is a fairly significant change. As we were talking in Foundation 1, our focus with these stats is really to open up build options, and that was the main tenet. That was key goal number 1, open up more build options. And we were like, this is how we're going to do that. We had the meeting today. The scoping is happening. It's actually been a much more of an organic process. So I would say expect that soon. And be excited.
On that note, though, our goal is to hopefully not wipe as few times as possible and only wipe specific things. So it's kind of a balancing act.
We can actually talk about this specifically, because our wipe, the way that we want to do it is our wipe is not necessarily we're not getting rid of heroes or anything like that. Our wipe is really going to be targeted to the items that you have. And so those things are going to get reset and sort of re-rolled in a sense. Less so about what the usual term wipe
that's
means.
What we're hoping right now. We haven't made any final decisions, but that's kind of things we're talking about.
That's fair.
So actually someone reposted a question from Kaliji, I think is the name, saying basically the glitched out boots make people be able to farm a map within very short periods of time. Is there going to be a wipe because of that? The answer is we're not sure. We just patched that, or we're planning to patch that on Monday. And we're hoping, and we're going to look at kind of the item economy and see if we need to do something. We really try to avoid wipes because we want you guys to feel like you can play Dungeon Defenders 2 and really get a lot out of it, and we're not trying to reset progress. But that may be something we do, reversion items that were acquired during that period of time. We'll discuss it with you guys and figure out that's something you guys want.
The way that I like to think about problems like that is that sometimes it's appropriate to approach a problem like that with a scalpel, and sometimes it's appropriate to approach it with a sledgehammer, or the solution. And wipes are usually sledgehammer things. They're kind of tear it down, reset. And so we're investigating and talking about ways to approach it as a scalpel, so we can target maybe things that are broken, or maybe specific accounts or specific items that are breaking that.
Yep. So I know I'm a little behind the questions. I'm trying to get down to them. So if you're chatting about things that I'm not saying, it's my fault. I feel so much better than this than I am. Ikigo has a question. I like the hairstyles from the normal skins, but with the cash skins, the characters always have something else. Will it be viable to add a checkbox to have normal hairstyles with the premium skins?
You know what? We'll go talk to Danny. That sounds like a neat idea.
Yeah, the cosmetic system at its first phase, we wanted to create really cool skins that look good on their own.
Yeah.
Like with combined things, like the Red Riding Hood skin looks good on its own and whatnot. But those are cool ideas.
Yeah.
We want to find ways to give you things that you feel really good spending currency on, premium currency on, and feel rewarding. So that's something we can explore and look into.
Absolutely.
So let's see here. Here's one. Herc, I think, says, how come you can't heal with on-hit healing weapons on Betsy?
I think that should be getting fixed in the
I think that's a bug. Yeah, Levi, thumbs up.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was a mistake.
I was like, wait, hold on.
The fix is already on our side. So.
Look at that! All right. See, sometimes it's great having QA in. They know exactly what's going on more than we do.
I was like, I think in my head I was like, oh, this is 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
I was hearing this. Oh, okay, it's fixed. It's
confirmed that fixed personally, actually.
Levi,
excellent. Look at
from
that.
the horse's mouth. Not saying that Levi's a horse, but from the QA's mouth, that fixes in. So that's awesome.
Yay.
Yes. Levi says nay. Oh boy. Okay, so someone already asked about PvP. We were asking that before. Maybe down the road. Not right now. It's not our current focus. Let's see.
So what's this build about? This is it's got a dragon pet. So is that your Betsy pet?
This is my Betsy pet.
It's your Betsy pet in the baby stage.
Yeah, the Betsy pets evolved into something crazy.
Yep.
Just a full ability power apprentice.
Full ability power. Okay.
This
Cool.
Tornado is crazy.
Excellent.
Man, I like ability. We were having this conversation
We
before.
were.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love stacking ability power.
Yep.
I said that, and then Jay's like, "You usually play mages." Maybe I like abilities. So,
Nothing. There's no statue on your desk that tells anybody.
Hey,
No, I am
hey.
reinforcing the idea that you like playing mages.
That's
I am
true.
acknowledging. the
all right, I'm
commitments.
gonna offer a little bit of embarrassment right now. What he's talking about is I personally admit I was a World of Warcraft Grand Marshal back in
Yep.
the old days, and I do have my little fingerprint on my
I
desk.
wouldn't be ashamed. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
You
So
did that.
I did do that.
You
and
did
it took
that,
a lot of
dude.
time, and no one did not dual play my account. And it was before the patches that made it easy to get Grand Marshals. So,
you were
that was
mentioning
in-
one on your server, 1 of 13, I believe.
I think that was the 11th or 12th on my
11th?
server.
Yep.
Yeah, so pretty early on. So Tyler J asks, my friends and I are having this bug where we can't Alt-Tab or Windows key while playing without completely crashing. Any fix to this? Those are really good bugs to communicate and send us information on.
Yep.
So there's the bug guy in the tavern. You can type those things in there. I'm not sure if Levi is going through them anymore. I think Steve is. We have QA that go through all those bug reports and generate them. Sometimes those issues are related to what we call compat lab or compatibility issues, where certain hardware configurations and software configurations can cause problems that we can't always see internally. So it's really good to send those off, and then we can get the communication with you and try to figure out what's causing them. Alt-tabbing should work, and we alt-tab a lot. So it'll be cool to see. Let's see if we can grab one more question for Jay before we can go through to Dan, who I think is just walking in the door. So, Frozen Winds 92 asks, I was wondering when survival mode will be implemented in the game. I don't think we've announced when yet, but we have a new name for it.
So, do you want? Are you saying that I get to say it?
The name was already announced. We did the influence vote on it.
Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we did an
so
influence vote on it.
We
He
actually,
gets all worried. He's like, please, dear God, I don't want to mess up something and say something I shouldn't.
So here's what I will say. We just had a team-wide playtest of Onslaught mode, and so
Right now. Through the other
as
door.
we are streaming, our team is playing an internal playtest, and so every week we do a at least one internal playtest, and this is where we do our game mode testing. This is where we'll do like our boss, our pre-arted up levels, like we'll do layouts. So whenever we want to test anything, we have exposed to us not only our, like the design team, we actually play the game quite frequently just with internal builds, like probably about once a day we get together and we play a game. But at least the team as a whole gets one dedicated
Yep.
trendy end time to play the game, and today was Onslaught.
So, Onslaught coming soon.
Yes.
Don't know when.
Yes.
Don't know when. Cool. Jay?
Yes,
Thanks
you
a lot for
having
joining
me.
us.
Thank
Wave
you
to
so
everybody.
much. Take care. Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Jay has some good notes. He's probably going to go
Got
run
him.
and type and send them out now.
Let me go talk to people.
And now we have Dan and Dodd. Hey, Dan.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm good. How is everyone?
Good. I was commenting on his shirt earlier today at lunch. Balthazar.
Balthazar.
That's right.
All right.
Right? That's right?
Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur. Whatever. I was close.
Close enough.
That's close enough. I know Pokemon, but
Mm-hmm.
honestly, most of the Pokemon I know is from Smash Brothers.
I think across. Oh, that's a nice thing to admit on air.
Yes. By the way, now we have Ninja
Ninja.
Premium Cat. Enrique's getting crazy with the Premium
Yeah,
Cats, by the way.
my favorite one. You guys unfortunately will not get to see, but there's even a crazier one.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and I think you'd appreciate it if you see it.
Probably. So we'll go right into questions with you, if that's all right.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm not so good at multitasking, so if you see Levi do anything really cool, you should just stop me.
All right.
So Killg asks, one of the things I really loved in DD1 was all the projectile variety with weapons you could get. Will there ever be anything like that in DD2? This actually came up last Devstream, too.
Yeah.
I answered this question last time. Phil asked me.
Yeah.
Was that maybe someday
uh,
down the whatever?
I've been actually really advocating that from like the very beginning of Dungeons Defenders 2. Due to like the complex nature of how we're doing things, we're not sure when we'd be able to slot that in, but we are really hoping to get variable projectile types on ranged weapon in at some point. It's something we really want to do, so let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, and I mentioned that Dan actually, once upon a mattress, that's a musical reference, whatever, he did a design for that.
I did, yeah.
And we have it still in the book, so when we get to that point, we're really focused back on core combat or core experiences, which right now we're really focused on meta and bigger reward loops. That could come back. It's a really cool design. So Get Your Wet Wipes asks, the reward systems, please talk about the reward systems and how to make the player base to feel more rewarded for playing and replaying.
Right.
I think there's a question in there. It's kind of a statement question thing.
Sure. We're looking a lot at our rewards, obviously. If you guys have watched earlier dev streams or if you've been part of Dungeon Defenders Council for a while, you'll notice we've done a lot of improvements and we're focusing really in on that a lot. Obviously, the things you're playing now are our most recent update, and we plan to do a whole hell of a lot more. In fact, today we were just sitting in a meeting. I can't really talk about it much, but we're kind of looking over what you guys will get to see in the next milestone, what are the big meaningful impacts that will be derived from it, and it's all about giving you guys more meaningful rewards, more rewards that you can expect, and not having it be this nebulous thing or things along those lines.
I mean, rewards are everything, and that's like the main focus of the team right now. And you've seen that with some of the recent patches, and like Dan said, he can't talk about all of them, but there are some cool new ones also coming up.
Future dev streams we'll talk about.
Yes. So I mean, yes, we're going to be continuing working on that as part of early access to find what kind of behavior you guys do more, and then reward those. We have another question here about, let's see, where was it? I don't know where the scrolling is. Flash Banger, I think. Good Lord, I can't pronounce that name. Just a question about the possibility to stack Collector's Edition updates in Steam. Would this work from your side? I mean, only the gems because everything else isn't stackable. So right now, we are just released premium currency through the Collector's Edition. Sometime in the future, we're going to be adding in the ability to purchase premium currency. That's not in yet, but it's interesting to hear that you guys are already excited about getting that. So maybe that means we're doing something right with our costumes at least. So look for that in the future. So, Scratchinator asks, will pet evolution be in the next big patch? Stroking the beard.
Stroking the beard.
Maybe not. We'll see. I don't know what else to say about that. If I say any more, I think Phil will get mad when he gets back. We're not really sure, to be honest. We have a lot of work we're doing the pet system. We got a lot of feedback about the UI not working so well. Some confusion. I actually think I saw in my Pineberries doing a stream where he was having problems figuring out how to like incubate pets and things like that. And we're watching these videos and watching how people are playing and trying to find the best way to fix it. We also have evolution on the plate, but we're trying to refine as well as add. So how that feathers out with the new work we're doing.
We're obviously looking at like the rotten egg problem. We want to make sure there's a use for them and things like that. We're actively working on the pet system now, and we'll see what's part of the next update.
Oh, Craith88 says he was a Grand Marshal as well. We talked about that earlier. That's funny. Craith, you and I should chat sometime. We can share some old war stories. At least you were a Grand Marshal, not a High Warlord. That's a different topic altogether. Let's see what else we have here. So, Prodigy asks, I think it's Prodigger, maybe. Will the regular daily quest be changed? He says it is very unrewarding at later levels now.
We've known about this issue for quite a while. We have some plans to make the rewards more meaningful and even the quests themselves a lot more interesting, a lot more entertaining. We'll gradually be rolling that out in future updates to come.
Yep. Let's see here. Let's see. Someone asking about what is that? What is he drawing now?
That is.
Is it like a lightning cat?
Goku themed cat?
No way.
Super Saiyan cat, yeah.
You think so?
I saw it before, so I'm pretty sure.
Oh man! Oh God, you're right. That's what he's working on. Did you talk to him before you walked in here?
No, I had to review the work.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what he's doing. All right. Let's see.
I saw the dragon ones too, but you guys won't get to see those either.
Dragonfall. Let's see. Trinity Ends. So I cannot pronounce this guy's name to save the life of me. JHM9G788. Man. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. I'm not going to try. But he asked, is there going to ever be a first-person view in DD2 like there was in DD1?
We're currently not planning on adding that.
Yeah, I think we did an experiment once with first-person view, and it didn't really work with the motion of the characters. Yeah. It may be something we add in later. It really depends on what you guys want, but it was really, really uncomfortable in our test in the beginning, so... Let's see what else here. So Tyler J asks, when will the Earth Shatter Tower hit the dummies in the tavern?
It's an interesting question. That's probably a bug, and if you go to the Tavern Keeper and submit it, we'll look at it and make sure we fix it.
Okay, so just as a reminder for everyone that's joining late, a couple things. PM Asher and I Pass Butter, they're not here today. They're at a brand new concert. That's the band's name, not a brand new concert. And so today we have Levi playing for us. He's playing, it looks like he's going through Roots right now. And he's playing it solo on 25 Plus, which is pretty cool. And he's in really pimped out gear, so that's awesome too. And as an announcement for everyone, we are planning to release a hotfix next week. Our target right now is on Monday morning. So that'll include a whole bunch of bug fixes, including the boot overpowered fix and a couple other changes in there, just from all the reports we've gotten from the last week. So that should be a really good quality of life patch and fix up some of those things. Just things for you guys to look forward to. So, and we're also taking questions and scrolling through and answering questions the best we can. So feel free to ask us questions on the stream, and we'll have Dan answer them.
Yep.
So let's see. Question: will there be chicken pets? And then it's hashtag golden chicken. People want chicken pets.
Funny story. There, when we were kind of trying to decide the species, the first 3 species for this first pet update. We actually had a bunch of species that you guys didn't see. One of them was actually the bird species, and it had kind of a chicken. Yeah,
that's right.
But we decided there was a chicken. But we decided to hold back on it. We know that chicken was also kind of an important thing from DD1, and we didn't want to do the propeller cat and the chicken at the same time, so we're kind of holding off on that.
So I want to mention this because I don't know if you did you watch my part of the stream from last week? I let out the barricade. I told them about the barricade.
Oh, the barricade.
The barricade.
Oh, okay.
The barricade, like BEAR, barricade. I have seen like 7 or 10 people that were on last week that keep on posting hashtag barricade. So there is that do man. There was some okay. Now,
there were issues with that guy.
Dan advocates for barricade, but everyone is like barricade for the wins. That's pretty hilarious. Rigby 1997 asks Trinity Int, is there a way to make your own pet designs and send them in? Yes. Please go to the forums. We read the forums. Josh posts reports to us. We love getting those kind of ideas. These guys actually do get ideas from those sources all the time.
So we just do something and put it up there, and we'll check it out.
Actually, we're working on pets some right now. Is there kind of maybe you can give them some information on the types of ideas you may like to see from them if they were to put some of those out there?
Sure. The kind of 2 things that we're focusing on most right now is the premium pets. Obviously, you see a big batch of them here, and the idea is they're kind of not very, they're kind of cool, whimsical, cool themed, fun things that you guys can get to play around with. And we're also exploring the idea of evolution. So if you want to take something you guys can do, take the existing pets, let us know how you guys want to evolve them. Maybe if you guys have an artistic flair, or have a cool idea for a premium pet, also just draw something up there and we'll check it out. Yeah,
and I think actually Dan went through on a Devstream and explained how the pets work and how their evolution system works and what they get with their different abilities and whatnot. So it's a good thing to go check out those previous Devstreams. You can get his full download in the system, and that also might give you some good foundation for how to build them and how to create some ideas there.
Yep.
So we have a question here basically asking, so this is from CCMC Shaggy, basically asking, do you guys have plans on lowering the experience cost on the costume upgrades? That's a very interesting topic because we've had a lot of debates on this. On the one hand, we've got a lot of feedback from people wanting to have a way to show they're a veteran. Like they've been playing the game a while, they've earned something special with the way they look. And right now, you have weapons, but nothing that you can do visually. And so we're like, well, we'll add this system in where if you play a lot with a character, you can get this thing. Someone actually, there was a Reddit thread on someone who evolved the Squire costume like in a weekend. Just played really, really hard and felt really accomplished about getting that. And we want to encourage that kind of play style. On the other hand, we understand that some other players may want to acquire those kind of releases without grinding so much. So it's kind of a debate. I don't really know what we do with that.
I mentioned that a little bit last stream that we were on. It's basically, we put some values that might be a little too high for certain embellishments because we want to basically get feedback from you guys and look at our numbers, and we're going to tweak from there. And basically there's going to be probably some sort of middle ground where there'll be these items that you really have to spend a lot of time in and get that cool status in, but other items that are like quicker, are on a shorter loop, and so you can get through them quicker.
Yeah, I agree. Toes SSQ2, Toe Squat maybe? I guess it's Toe Squat. Are you going to add some sort of requirements to join incursions and or onslaught in public games so that fresh players can't skip all content and go straight to in-game?
That is a problem that we are aware of. I can't exactly say how. I'll just say that as part of the work that we're doing now, we're looking at really hard at matchmaking and on like the the fact that at endgame the requirements get a little wider because
Yeah.
you need to have much stronger gear in order to do some of the things, and we need to factor those things in. So we are aware of those, and we're factoring them in.
Yeah, our goal is to create the best play experience for all the different types of players that we have. Hardcore veterans versus the more casual players, and make sure they all can have fun.
Yep.
So finding the right way to do that's kind of tricky. We might be fixing some of that soon, and we might be fixing some of that a little more down the road. Another interesting question. This is where to go. Abusive Cake asks, turn the end, when will I stop crashing? Hopefully soon. If you are having crashing problems, we know there's a few very rare crashes that we're tracking down, but we don't know of any common, like, major recurring crashes. So if you're having that issue, that probably means that it's something with your hardware or software configuration, and we need to help figure out what that is. So please reach out to us. There's a support forum system. We have our bug reporter. Get us that information so we can work with you to find out. We don't want you crashing. That's really, like Jay was saying earlier, it breaks his heart. Like,
Yeah.
that sucks. We want you to be able to play the game. It's super important to us. We're putting a lot of effort into it. So if that's happening to you, please reach out to us.
Go on the tech support forums. That's a really good place. Check it
Yeah.
out first, and obviously submit bugs to the Tavern Keep, just like Brett said.
And we'll get a hold of you, maybe do a DX diag report or whatever, and try to track it down. So let's see here. What else do we have? I already answered that one. Let's see. Man, that premium pet layout is something else.
Yeah.
Enrique is a madman. All right, so let's see. Pompey Cheeto says, when I tried to play the new update for the first time, I lagged immensely and couldn't move, but before the update I played smoothly. So that was a bug. And we figured out what happened, and we have a temporary fix in right now that solves the problem, and we have a more permanent fix we're working on in the future. But from what we understand, severe lag, especially in the tavern, should not be happening anymore. If you are seeing it, again, please reach out to us because we believe we have fixed that. Everyone loves the barricade. Let's see. Okay, here's an interesting one. Tyler J asked a lot of questions. I know money and stuff like that, but how do you feel about alpha players maybe getting a beta key for a friend to play with us when that time comes? That's actually something we've talked about.
Yeah, we did talk about that, and we've done something very similar in the past for our, like, close council, where we allowed them to bring in their friends and family. So there might be maybe something on the horizon like that.
Yeah. So definitely something we can talk about more in the future, because it's always great to have games that your friends recommend to you to play, and maybe you can bring some new opinions in there.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. Any idea? Oh, Tyler J also has, man, again, no more Tyler J questions. Any idea why pets will go into machine gun mode and shoot really fast but only do 1 damage? Any reason why that may...
Well,
Actually, Levi, I think I saw that on his screen once when he was testing pets way back when.
should be fixed. that was probably a bug, and it was fixed. We'll probably be pushing that update soon.
There's a problem with down leveling them on certain maps.
Yeah,
It's
so yeah.
fixed now.
Levi was the core QA on the pets thing. For what it's worth, both of those bugs that came up on the stream were bugged before the patch went out. We just kind of had to deal with prioritizing them, and those got surfaced at the, and now we've kind of fixed them. So you should see that fixed on Monday, hopefully. Look at that, we're on top of things. Every once in a
No
while.
surprises, which is great.
Let's see here. What else do we have? Let's see. Okay, so Stifles, maybe, I don't know. Are you guys looking into adding more game modes? And if so, what game modes, for example, do you guys have in mind?
Sure, yeah. I mean, Jay talked about this earlier. We're actually testing right now Onslaught mode internally, which is our version of survival mode. That is at some point on the horizon. We're working on that really, really hard. We had a bunch of other game mode prototypes that we did before. We had like our version of hardcore mode as well. We're going to basically take them on one at a time and do one right and then move on from there. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of aware that we need to start introducing new game modes, and we're actively working on it.
Onslaught seems really cool. It was funny, when I was in the stream here at Jay, we heard people screaming behind us. So that may be a good sign. Maybe Onslaught's going well.
Yeah.
By the way, now we have bear puns.
Bear puns.
Bear puns are showing up. I actually think when the barricade was proposed, this is back almost 2 years ago, there was an email thread that was literally every response was a bear pun for about like 7 or 10 responses.
It was unbearable.
Yeah, that was the bear pun they did on there. But some people were doing ones, like they were doing fur and like all these other
The barrows.
The bear. There are some inside jokes still. I completely forgot about
the
that.
barrows, yeah.
You should go ahead and tell them the story.
So someone swapped out the Huntress's projectile arrows with the actual bear, rather than an arrow. So there would be, when you fire the bow, you'd see a gigantic bear just rolling as a projectile fired. And
They were
those
called
barrows.
barrows,
Mhm.
and it was kind of ridiculous.
Yep.
And someone asked if we could put that in the game, and I said maybe later.
Hey, you know those variable projectile types and range weapons that you guys asked about?
Oh no, he didn't say that. This bear thing is never gonna die now. You're like seeding something into the public's
Fuel to the
consciousness.
fire.
Oh man. Okay, so let's see. Looking for questions here. Someone's talking about a laser kitty. Laser kitty sounds fun. Let's see. I bet you when I scroll down to the point where the bear stuff is coming up, we're gonna get a whole bunch of yeah, best bear pun, 10 out of 10. What barrows? Please skin. I will give you all the monies. Oh man! Now there's a Team Barrows and Team Barricade.
Nice.
Someone asking again about the PvP game mode, if that's ever going to come back. We talked about that earlier. Right now, we have no plans of doing PvP at the moment. We're really focused on that co-op experience, but it may be something we bring back in the future. I can't bear it. Just, now we're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Oh my gosh. Oh, and now we hit the bottom of the point, so now we're looking for new questions. I'd rather shoot rubber chickens than barrows, by the way. Everyone, so that would be a good fun influence vote. Bears versus chickens. And I wonder who would win. Oh man. So by the way, we're taking questions now, and I'm at the bottom of the stream, so I'm reading what you guys are posting right at the moment. So please post your questions, respond to them the best we can. So Tyler J asks, our plans on making this available to Mac soon. Supporting Mac down the road is on our roadmap. Right now we're focused on the PC SKU, and obviously you guys have heard our announcement about the PS4 SKU. Mac and Linux are both things that we want to support down the road. So
To all you Mac fans out there, our CEO actually wants to play really badly on the Mac.
Yes.
He keeps reminding us about it, but it's in the pipe. At
Yes.
some point we'll get to it.
yes, he talks about it
You
often.
guys have support, so
Yep.
don't worry about it.
So we do have some questions here. While we're waiting for maybe some more people on the stream to ask questions. We do have some questions that came up from the community. We're
Sure.
going to get to a couple of them. We have about 10 minutes left. So let's see here. Let's pick one of them. Dying Katanos asks, will a bonus for having all the gear of the same tier of rarity be included at all, similar to DD1?
We kind of talked a lot internally about the idea of item sets, especially like armor sets or like weapon sets. If you're like the Squire, sword and shield, and if you match them together, what happens? We have some ideas internally. We're working on it, but it's not planned for the foreseeable future, and you might see it potentially at some point in the future. We're thinking about it. So
Yep. Yeah, that's a good answer. The guy with the name that I can't pronounce anymore because his name is a whole bunch of random numbers and characters, JHM. I'm going to call him JHM. That's the way I'm going to call him now. Do you plan on including any huge maps, like 10 plus monster spawn zone maps?
that's an interesting idea. We had some a version of kind of either Horde or Onslaught, no, I don't remember, that had literally that. There were different spawners, some would activate and deactivate and things like that.
I remember that
yeah.
blockout test, yeah.
It was
a little bit rough.
interesting. It was rough.
It wasn't as fun as you'd think.
Yeah. It was certainly interesting, I'd put it. There may be some cool things we take away from that and maybe apply it to future maps, and we'll see.
It's funny, as game designers, sometimes you have these, like you guys are posting ideas, and we're like, man, we had that idea too. And then you try it, and it's not
Doesn't work so
fun.
well.
Like, it's really fun, and it's like, man, it'd be great if you had like 10 lanes and all, and you play, and you're like, oh my gosh, I was so confused and lost, and had no idea what was going on. So those are cool ideas. Maybe we come back and explore them more.
Yeah.
But that's kind of fun part of experimenting and seeing those things.
Mm-hmm.
Scratch Air asked a question about pets. He says, he or she, I'm not sure, do you have a specific number of evolutions planned for pets? Do we have a specific number of evolutions planned for
We
pets?
do.
Dan?
The way the evolution system works, it basically allows you to increase the tier of the pet. And all of your pets, when they hatch from the egg, they start at tier 3, which is powerful. So by default, you're going to be able to evolve your pet from powerful to epic, epic to mythic, and mythic to legendary. So there are 4 tiers of evolution. The first tier doesn't change visually. The ones after that will start to change visually.
Yep. And the pets evolution stuff is really, really cool. Enrique is doing most of it. And you see, like, the premium stuff, his evolution stuff is like one of the evolution things that I saw for one of the pets. I walked away and I was like, I want that now. Like, I want that. Cool. So Game Guru makes a comment. I reported this, but I'm wondering if it's something I'm doing wrong. I've been able to make it to wave 5 of Forest Crossroads the last 3 hours 5 times now, and I don't know why my ogres are scared to walk forward.
Scared to walk forward.
They're scared. They're frightened.
Man.
You know why it is? It's because you're that good. They're scared of you.
They're
Your defenses
terrified.
terrify them. They don't want to go.
In all seriousness, though, that's a bug that we keep squashing and it keeps rearing its ugly head again. I would say we'd have to investigate and find out what's going on again and fix it.
Sorry, I'm laughing. Someone called the Derby support. He's asked this question twice now. By the way, post the questions once. I am trying to scroll through and catch them, but I'll answer it now because you've been. Would love to see a cat launcher bow for the Huntress, like from Family Guy that Adam West shoots.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Variable projectile types.
Yes, with animals that have animations. Let's see here.
If you miss, the cats can run around on the ground and find it.
This is how skill creep happens. This right here is, and then we try to add these crazy ideas, and then Bug City maybe. But they're great ideas. That's the problem. We want to do all the things. Let's see. Are we going to see a female-male counterpart to each hero? I would love to see more representation in the heroes that really can't jump. We've actually talked about that a couple times.
We've more than talked. We have like a concept art piece for
Yeah.
like the different counterparts.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's on our minds, and we're kind of thinking about how we're going to do it.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky thing because there's a lot of lore tied to the personality of the characters. One thing that when we were looking at that as an idea, which by the way, it's not off the table, it's just something that we haven't actioned on yet. One thing that came up is that, well, would it be better to add those swaps and kind of mess with the lore of the game and the personality, like the apprentice and his relationship with his father and the squire and his dad, and just kind of way those family relationships work. We flesh out the story more, and same with like the Huntress and her lineage. Or would it be better to add more heroes in, of more female heroes in, and kind of diversify the repertoire. So we've kind of back and forth, and one of the things that we are working on right now is the lore, and it's a tough question. So that is definitely something we've talked about. It's a really good idea that we've already kind of done some experimenting
Yeah, we
with.
debated a lot internally whether they should be their own new heroes and they're just the different sex counterparts, or if they're a skin of the existing heroes.
Yeah.
So we're kind of thinking what we do in that case.
Yeah, but it's a great idea.
Yeah.
One note you asked, Trendy Ent, does the affection level on the pets affect its stats?
Affection level does. It basically affects the stats that the pet carries that affect you. Like if you see a pet with defense power, the higher the affection level, the better that defense power stat on the pet.
Yep. And we, by the way, recognize that the feedback right now
It is not very
on
good.
what happens when those things take place is probably awful.
Not very good, yeah.
I'd say,
Awful
yeah,
is a
it's
good
pretty.
word.
It's basically our first pass, so we know that it's not very obvious, and we're going to be working on fixing that very soon. So Tyler J asks, can you explain the difference between the 25, 25 plus, 25 plus plus, 25 plus 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 modes and such? Is it lose first difficulty and stuff like that, or what?
The plan. This is kind of a little difficult to answer because what might be in game is not necessarily what we have planned in the future. But the general gist of it is when you go from plus to plus plus to incursions and normal hard things like that, it's supposed to be more and more challenging and reward you better and better loot. So if you start at 25, you need to get the items you need in order to survive in 25 plus. Then you graduate to 25 plus. There's harder encounters, more challenging content, which rewards better gear that you need to jump to 25 plus plus. Then you go to incursions and things like that.
Yep. PSO Master keeps on asking, will you get a new Defense Council bonus where you can use barricade skins for the Squire walls and our hunters will be able to shoot barrows? I don't even know anymore. We shot that idea down a while ago because, oh my gosh, barricade, by the way, the story was an idea that we looked at and went, we probably shouldn't do that for a lot of different reasons. I might have made a mistake in telling people about something that, I even gave them the reasons why.
Wow.
But they don't seem to, they seem to just like it that much. Let's see here. We have time for maybe a couple more questions. We're only down to the last 5 minutes. So before I take some of the last questions, I want to remind everyone there is a patch planning to come out on Monday. That's our hope. A lot of the bugs that people are seeing that we've discussed on the thread have already been fixed. Levi has awesomely been the one confirming it. He actually has been the confirmation point on some of them. So look forward to that patch next week, maybe on Monday or so. I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions. So JHM asks, regarding tower skins, will they reskin the entire tower, or will individual certain tower parts be changeable like accessories?
The current plan is to maintain the silhouette of the tower so that you can obviously recognize what's your cannonball tower, what's your harpoon tower, but basically reskin the entirety of the tower. The only thing that it won't skin currently, the plan is the projectiles, obviously, because your Ubers are going to change the projectiles, and the skin is going to change the actual, like we call it the mesh of the tower, the structure of the tower.
Yep. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get in a couple more, maybe one more. So, Discreet001 asks, how soon will we get more character slots? I'm anxious to play all the game content from scratch, but I only have 2 slots left. Also, will we ever be able to get rid of the lower level spheres that clutter up our inventory space or to hide them? Those are 2 very good questions.
Yeah, those are 2 very good questions. On the skill sphere one, we're looking at usability updates for that UI, much like all of the UIs. All the more recent features that have the first pass at those UIs. So there are some usability tweaks we can slot in there. And what was the first part of the question? What was it about?
They were asking about expanding the character slots.
Yeah, that is certainly something you guys have been asking for a lot. We're investigating and we're looking into how we actually achieve it and make it happen.
Yep. And then one more I'm going to grab really quick as I can because Phil's not here to cut me off. Urban Mock asks if we're going to ever add the Barbarian. He really wants the Barbarian back. Maybe. The Barbarian hero is one of the ones we've talked about.
I mean, listen, the art team has been pestering us about adding the Barbarian back. So.
I can tell you some of the work we actually started prototyping with that stuff,
Yeah.
but I won't. Cool. Well, listen, and also some people are being very kind to us and commenting about, trying to answer these questions and everything else. I just want to say, listen, we do this because we care about you guys. You're our fans, and we really, this is not just a phrase that we say. Hopefully you see that from these dev streams and the influence report and, the interactions in the forums. To us, we're making this game for you guys. Like, we love what we do. We're game developers, and we're also gamers. Laura, I talked about being a Grand Marshal earlier. We love games, and getting your input and talking to you like this, it helps us make a great game, hopefully. We don't always see all the things that we're maybe not doing completely right because we're so close to it. And seeing these questions and trying to figure out the best path, Jay trying to figure out action items off of them, I mean, this is what Early Access is about to us, making the best game with you as a community. So thank you so much for being here and helping us do this and asking these questions and helping us make a great game. We really couldn't do it without you. And for how much we work on this thing, it means a lot. So that's kind of all the time we have for today. We'll be back next Friday with more questions. In the interim, please keep on going on the forums and posting to us. Thank you, Levi, so much for playing. Enrique, thank you so much for doing all this awesome art in the stream. And Dan, as always, it's great having you on. Thanks a lot, everyone. We'll see you next time. Sorry if we didn't get to your questions. Put them on the forum. We'll answer them there. Take care and have a great weekend.
See ya.